I'm sitting in a knockoff Eames chair I bought during a minimalist phase I never fully committed to, staring at my Christmas tree like it personally betrayed me. There's a glass of expensive scotch in my hand, the kind I don't normally buy because I'm not a Bond villain and my budget has feelings. That scotch was supposed to be a toast to my future father-in-law, a welcome to the family stand moment. Instead, it's a toast to silence, to the kind of quiet you only hear when a life you were building gets snapped in half like a candy cane. So yeah, Merry Christmas to me. Let's rewind 72 hours, back to when I thought I was about to have the perfect holiday. 3 days ago, I was running Christmas like a military operation. I'm a planner, not in a cute, I like lists way, more in a spreadsheet way. Color-coded tabs, contingency plans, the whole thing. My girlfriend, fiancée-to-be, Jessica, 29, loves Christmas the way some people love oxygen. It's not a holiday to her. It's a season and a personality trait. From November 1st to December 26th, she becomes a walking Pinterest board. Warm lights, perfect wreath symmetry, Christmas music in the car like it's mandatory. And for the past 6 months, she'd been hinting at a ring in a way that was so blatant it should have come with a warning label. Links to brilliant earth settings. Casual comments like, if I ever got an oval cut with a hidden halo, I'd literally pass out. Screenshots with the caption, just leaving this here. Her friend getting engaged and Jessica looking at me like a courtroom prosecutor. So I bought the ring. Solitaire oval cut, hidden halo, classic band. It cost an embarrassing amount of my year-end bonus, the kind of amount you don't say out loud because you'll start apologizing to your bank account. But the ring wasn't even the main event. The real main event was the logistics. Jessica's family lives across the country in Oregon. She hasn't seen them for Christmas in 4 years because flights are brutal and her parents, Barb and Stan, are broke but proud. The kind of broke that still insists they're fine while quietly panicking. So I decided to do something big. I paid for the whole family to fly in. 5 round-trip Delta tickets, $4,200. I booked a 4-bedroom Airbnb in the historic district so everyone had space and Barb wouldn't critique my apartment for being too modern and cold. $3,500 for the week. I planned a catered Christmas Eve dinner for 10 people so we wouldn't end up with a sad deli tray holiday. Deposit $200, remaining balance $1,800. I even hired a photographer to hide outside and capture the proposal like some wholesome paparazzi because Jessica loves photos and moments and captions. The plan was simple. Christmas morning at 9 a.m., I propose under the tree. She says yes. Then the doorbell rings and, surprise, the whole family shows up. Tears, champagne, brunch, chaos, joy. I look like a hero. She gets content for the next 10 years. Everyone wins. That was the plan. Then on December 23rd at 2:14 p.m., my phone buzzed. One text from Jessica. No warning, no fight. No, we need to talk. Just, I don't want to be together anymore. This isn't working. I'm going to stay at a friend's house for a while. Don't contact me. I stared at the screen like it was written in another language, because that morning she had kissed me goodbye and reminded me to pick up the dry cleaning. That morning she asked if we could watch the holiday later. That morning she adjusted the ornaments on the tree and told me this year feels special. And now this isn't working. I called her, straight to voicemail. I texted, is this a joke? Read receipt on. No reply. I sat there at my desk for 10 minutes, not crying, not spiraling, just calculating. It felt like watching a glass of red wine tipping over in slow motion. You don't scream, you don't negotiate with gravity, you just accept the stain is coming and start grabbing paper towels. She broke up with me via text 2 days before Christmas after I'd basically set $9 grand on fire to host her family. So I typed back, I understand. That was it. No begging, no why, no please. If she wanted to nuke the relationship from orbit with one sentence, I wasn't going to stand in the blast zone asking for clarification. I went into crisis management mode. First, I canceled the catering. I lost the deposit but saved the remaining balance. Second, I canceled the photographer. Third, I went home. Her stuff was still there. Shoes in the hallway, makeup on the counter, her Christmas mug in the sink like she might come back any second and complain about water spots. She hadn't even packed a bag, which told me she didn't plan this. She just fled. Then I looked at my itinerary. Her family landed at 8:20 p.m. that night. I considered calling them. I really did. I pulled up Barb's contact and stared at it. But then I remembered Jessica's text, don't contact me. She initiated this unilateral termination. By all social contracts, she was responsible for informing her own stakeholders that the merger was off. If I called her family, I'd be the one ruining Christmas. I'd be the messenger getting shot. If she hadn't told them yet, that was her problem. So I poured a drink, ordered takeout, and went to sleep right in the middle of the bed, like a man refusing to give up territory in a war he didn't start. December 24th, Christmas Eve, 10 a.m., the doorbell rang. Not a polite ring, aggressive, like the doorbell was yelling. I opened the door in sweatpants, unshaven, hair giving up on being respectable, and there they were. Bob in a bright red coat with little white fur trim like she was auditioning to play festive mother. Stan behind her with tired eyes and 2 suitcases, Courtney the sister already texting like she was live reporting a scandal, and Mike the brother holding a vape and looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. They were beaming. Surprise! Bob yelled, trying to push past me like this was her house. We got here early. The Airbnb check-in isn't until noon, so we thought we'd just crash here. She stopped when she saw the apartment. Dark, no Christmas music, no cinnamon, no holiday energy. The tree was there, but the place had the vibe of a waiting room, and I did not look like a man about to propose. Bob's smile faltered. Stan leaned forward, scanning the living room. "Where's Jessica?" he asked. "Is she hiding?" I kept my voice calm. "I don't know. You should probably call her." Bob blinked rapidly. "What do you mean you don't know? Didn't you fly us here? Is this part of the surprise?" "There's no surprise," I said. "Jessica broke up with me via text yesterday." The silence after that could have crushed a diamond. Courtney looked up from her phone like she'd heard a gunshot. "That's not funny," she snapped. "It's not a joke," I said. "She said she's staying with a friend. She told me not to contact her, so I haven't." Bob's face shifted from festive to furious. She dialed Jessica immediately and put it on speaker. Ring, ring, ring. "Hello?" Jessica's voice sounded groggy and panicked, like she'd been asleep or pretending she'd been asleep. "Jessica Marie!" Bob screeched at nuclear volume. "We are standing at his door. Why is he saying you broke up?" Mom?" Jessica sounded like she was choking. "What are you doing there?" "We came early," Bob shouted. "The rental car line was insane, so we took an Uber. What is going on? I can't talk right now," Jessica stammered. "Just go to the Airbnb. I'll meet you there." "We can't get in," Stan yelled. "Code doesn't work until noon. Just wait at the apartment," Jessica pleaded. "Please, just sit there a few hours. I'm an hour away." An hour away. I leaned toward the phone. "No," I said clearly. "They can't wait here. You don't live here anymore, Jess, and I'm not hosting your family on Christmas Eve after you dumped me." There was a pause. Jessica's voice sharpened. "Are you there?" "Yeah," I said. "I'm here." "Don't be like this," she whispered, and she didn't sound guilty, she sounded annoyed. "Just let them sit on the couch, I'll come get them." "Work is 20 minutes away," I said. "Whose house are you at that's an hour away?" Dead silence, then, muffled in the background, a male voice. "Babe, is that them?" Bob made a sound that was half gasp, half prayer. "Who is that?" she demanded. Jessica didn't answer. Courtney's eyes widened like she was watching reality TV. I stepped back, opened my door wider, and pointed down the hallway like a flight attendant indicating the exit. "I think you guys should go," I said. "The Airbnb is paid. I'll send the check-in info to Jessica. She can forward it to you." "But it's cold," Courtney whined. "We have luggage." "There's a Starbucks on the corner," I said. Bob looked like she was about to explode. "Merry Christmas," I added, because I'm petty but polite. Then I closed the door and locked the deadbolt. I listened to muffled arguing in the hallway for 5 minutes until they finally dragged their suitcases toward the elevator like a defeated parade. My phone blew up instantly. "You're a psychopath. How could you do that to my parents? Open the door. Let them in. I'm coming to get them. I can't believe you." I replied once, "You wanted to break up. This is what broken up looks like. Handle your logistics. I'm done." Christmas Day, I spent eating leftover Chinese food and gaming like a man returning to his natural habitat. No forced smiles, no Bob inspecting my furniture like a Yelp reviewer, no Stan ranting about politics and expecting applause. Just peace until 11 a.m. when there was pounding on the door. I checked the peephole. Jessica. She didn't have a key, because the second she sent that breakup text, I rekeyed the lock through the smart app like a modern wizard. Technology is beautiful. I opened the door but didn't step aside. Jessica looked wrecked, hair frizzy, eyes swollen, wearing sweatpants I recognized as mine. The audacity. "You ruined Christmas," she spat. "I didn't invite your family," I said calmly. "You did." "My mom is crying in an Airbnb that smells like wet dog," she snapped. "Courtney won't speak to me. Stan is furious because there's no food because you cancelled the catering." "I cancelled it because I'm not catering a holiday for people who aren't my family," I said. "Also, I booked a 4.8-star Airbnb. If it smells, take it up with the host." "You promised," she hissed. "You planned all of this. You can't just pull the rug out because we hit a rough patch." "A rough patch is arguing about dishes," I said. "Breaking up via text and moving in with Tyler from marketing isn't a rough patch. It's a resignation letter." She froze. "How do you know about Tyler?" "You've been working late with Tyler for 2 months," I said. "He lives an hour away in the suburbs." The math wasn't hard. Her face went red. "It doesn't matter," she said quickly, swerving away from accountability. "I'm here for my stuff and the presents, mine and my family's." I laughed out loud. "The gifts," I repeated. "You think you get the gifts? You bought them for us." "I bought them for my girlfriend and my future in-laws," I said. "I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have in-laws." She stared at me, waiting for me to reveal it was a prank. "I returned everything to Nordstrom yesterday," I added. "Got $400 back. Very satisfying." Her jaw dropped. "You returned the Dyson Airwrap?" She whispered like I'd confessed to a war crime. "I did. I wanted that for 6 months." "I know," I said. "It looked great sitting in the store after I returned it." "And the iPad for my dad? The Le Creuset for my mom?" "Gone," I said. "All gone." Her gaze snapped to the tree. Bare. No stockings, no gifts, no magic. Her face hardened. "You're so petty," she hissed. "I'm efficient," I corrected. "I need my laptop, my clothes." I pointed toward the guest room. I packed it. She stepped inside and saw the boxes. Home Depot boxes, no bubble wrap, no careful folding, just drawers dumped like I was clearing out a crime scene. "You can't kick me out," she snapped. I'm on the lease. I smiled. You're an occupant, I said. I'm the leaseholder, and since you haven't paid your half of rent in 3 months because you were saving for the wedding, the landlord is extremely on my side. Her eyes widened. I already emailed him, I added. He's drafting the removal paperwork. She stared at the boxes, then back at me, and I watched her flip into manipulation mode like switching filters on a selfie. Her voice softened. Babe, wait, she said, stepping closer. This got out of hand. I was confused. Tyler is nothing. I just got scared. The commitment, the pressure. Maybe we can talk. My family is here. We can still save the holiday. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. Jessica, I said, I cancelled the proposal. She blinked. What? The reason your family is here, I said. I was going to propose yesterday morning. I had a ring. I had a speech. The realization hit her like a truck. Not grief, not guilt, not remorse, but the sudden vision of the content she lost. The ring, the photos, the captions, the moment. Her eyes went wide. You have a ring? She whispered. Where is it? In a safe, I lied smoothly, because it was already in a FedEx box heading back to the jeweler. But safe sounded more dramatic. But it's not for you, I said. Her face collapsed into rage. She grabbed a box and threw it on the floor. It split open, sweaters spilling out like confetti at a sad parade. I'm not leaving until you give me the ring, she screamed. That's basically mine. That's not how property law works, I said. Call Tyler. Tell him to bring a truck. She called Tyler. He didn't pick up, so she called Stan. Stan showed up 20 minutes later in a rental minivan, looking like a man reconsidering every decision that brought him here. He didn't look at me. He just carried boxes. Sorry, he mumbled at the end, grabbing the last one. It's okay, Stan, I said. Enjoy the Airbnb. Checkout is 10 a.m. on the 27th. Don't be late. The cleaning crew is aggressive. Jessica glared at me from the passenger seat. I waved. You'd think that would be the end. It wasn't. That night, I got a Venmo request from Courtney. $850 for emotional distress and food expenses, with a note saying since I canceled dinner, they had to order overpriced hotel food, and also Barb was depressed, so I should pay up. I declined and blocked her. Then Barb emailed me. Subject, unacceptable behavior. It was a full essay about how I stranded them and humiliated Jessica and acted with malice, followed by the punchline. They expected me to reimburse them for return flights so they could leave early, and Jessica was entitled to the ring as settlement for the time she wasted on me. Settlement, like dating, is a lawsuit. I didn't reply. I forwarded it to my buddy Dave, an attorney who technically does estate law, but knows how to write a polite email that feels like a threat in a suit. Dave called me laughing. They don't have a case, he said. Ignore it. I tried to, but it got even stupider. A week later, they were supposed to fly back to Oregon on the 27th. I know because Delta kept sending me itinerary notifications. Jessica tried to change their return date to leave earlier, like Barb threatened. Here's the kicker. I booked the flights through my SkyMiles account using my points and card, so they couldn't change anything without my authorization code. Jessica called me screaming from the airport. Give me the code, she yelled. Mom wants to go home. She hates it here. No, I said. Tickets are for the 27th. If you want to leave early, buy new tickets. We don't have money for 5 last-minute tickets. Sounds like a scheduling conflict, I said pleasantly, then added, because I couldn't help myself. By the way, did you take the Vitamix? It's missing from the counter. She hung up. They stayed in the Airbnb, and when she finally moved her boxes out, I did inventory like a divorced dad checking what's left in the garage. Missing the Vitamix blender, my oversized Patagonia fleece, a PlayStation controller, and about $300 worth of frozen steaks. It felt petty, like she was taxing me for the breakup. So I texted her, return the blender, jacket, controller, and pay me for the steaks by Friday, or I'm filing a police report for theft. Also, I have cameras, and I have footage of you stuffing the blender into a bag. I don't actually have cameras in the kitchen, only the entryway and doorbell, but she didn't know the angles. Jessica replied that I was insane, that they bought the blender together, and that it was basically marital property. I stared at my phone because we were not married. That was literally the point. So I told her I had the receipt from Williams-Sonoma and to bring it back. She didn't reply. The next day, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. A young male voice, nervous and annoyed. Is this my name? Yeah, this is Tyler, he said. Look, man, can you just stop? Jessica is crying every night. Her family's blowing up my phone because they think I stole her. I didn't steal anyone. She told me you guys were basically roommates. Ah, the roommate narrative. Classic. Tyler, I said cheerfully. Good to finally hear from you. How's the blender? What? The Vitamix, I said. She stole it. Is it at your place? Because if it is, that's possession of stolen property. I'd hate for you to get dragged into a legal mess over a smoothie maker. Silence, then muffled arguing in the background. Tyler came back sounding less confident. She said it was hers. Look, she's staying here and it's a lot. Her mom is calling me a homewrecker. Her sister is DMing my ex. I didn't sign up for this. Then he said the funniest thing I'd heard all week. Can you just take her back? I laughed so hard I almost choked. Take her back? I repeated. Tyler, she's your prize. You won. You got the girl and her mom and her sister. Enjoy the dynasty, dude. He sounded miserable and admitted his apartment was 600 square feet and Jessica had 12 boxes in his living room and kept talking about a ring. He told me she said I was broke and boring. I agreed. I am boring and solvent. Good luck. And I hung up. 2 hours later, my doorman buzzed me. "Sir, there's a Ms. Jessica downstairs. She left a bag in the lobby. Says it's for you." I went down and found a Whole Foods bag sitting on the concierge desk. Inside was the Vitamix base only. She kept the picture out of spite. My Patagonia fleece smelling like cheap cologne, the controller, and no steaks. I went back upstairs and blocked Tyler's number. Then Barb escalated from email to physical letter, certified mail, floral stationery like she was declaring war from a craft store. She wrote that since I refused to compensate them for the emotional trauma of the Christmas trip and refused to give Jessica the ring she was promised, they were pursuing legal action in small claims court for the ticket cost, claiming I fraudulently used travel as a lure into a hostile environment. I scanned it and sent it to Dave. Dave called me laughing so hard he could barely speak. "They have no case," he said. "Hostile environment isn't a tort unless you attacked them with a machete." I asked if I could countersue for the Vitamix picture. Dave told me to let it go and consider it the price of freedom, but I sent one final email to Barb anyway, with attachments, the ticket receipt, the Airbnb receipt, and a clip from my Ring doorbell of Jessica having an entryway breakdown and essentially admitting she'd been with Tyler. I wrote that I paid for the tickets, they used them, they were a gift, and a proposal is a question, not a contract, and if Barb filed in small claims court, I would play the video for the judge and countersue for the Vitamix picture replacement cost just to be annoying on principle. I never heard back. By mid-January, the decorations were down, the apartment was clean, and the saga was finally dead. Jessica signed the lease release forms after trying to hold out for her portion of the security deposit, and I reminded her the deposit stays with the unit, and since I'm staying, I keep it, and if she wanted her share, she needed to get it from me, so I deducted the missing steaks, the Vitamix picture replacement estimate, and a cleaning fee for the guest room carpet stain, which was something orange like self-tanner or buffalo sauce or shame, and I cut her a check for $120. She threw it at me, then picked it up, then left. Tyler dumped her. I found out because Courtney posted a Facebook rant about men who can't handle strong women and tagged Tyler, and apparently the 600 square foot apartment plus 12 boxes plus Barb FaceTiming like a horror movie ghost was too much for a workplace fling, so Tyler went back to his ex. Jessica ended up in temporary housing, which is a polite way of saying motel or couch, and started posting vague TikToks about narcissistic abuse and healing. She viewed my LinkedIn profile twice, which is hilarious. Barb went silent after my email, and I assume Stan told her that walking into court with a video of their daughter admitting infidelity wasn't the power move she thought it was. The Airbnb host left me a review saying the guest was communicative, but his family members left the place a mess, broke a lamp, and trashed the kitchen, and I was charged $150 for the lamp. I paid it without fighting because I considered it the final stupid tax. The ring, though, was the best part. I returned it. Stock setting, within the 30-day window, full refund minus a restocking fee. About 12 grand back, and I didn't buy a jet ski, but I told people I did because it hurts more that way. In reality, I upgraded my entire home office. New chair, dual monitors, new rig, and I booked a solo trip to Japan in March. Just me. No in-laws, no surprises, no forced smiles. Closure arrived in the least dramatic way possible. A grocery store aisle. Small neighborhood, same aisles, same awkward universe. I was buying ribeyes to replace the stolen ones. Jessica was buying a frozen pizza. She looked tired, and the curated glow she always had was gone. She stopped her cart. "Hey," she said quietly. "Hey," I said. "I heard you're going to Japan." She added like she was trying to sound casual, which told me Courtney was still stalking my life from a distance. "Yeah," I said. "Always wanted to go." She looked at the steaks in my basket, then at the pizza in hers like it was an accidental metaphor. "I made a mistake," she said. "With Tyler, with Christmas, I panicked. I thought the grass was greener." "It happens," I said, "because it does." She swallowed, voice smaller. "Can we get coffee?" "Just to talk. I miss my best friend." I looked at her and remembered the text. "This isn't working. Don't contact me." Remembered Barb screaming in my hallway. Remembered Tyler asking me to take her back like she was a return policy. Remembered how fast she switched from leaving me to demanding gifts, a ring, and a settlement. So I shook my head. "I don't think so, Jess," I said. She blinked, hurt. "I'm pretty busy," I added. "Doing what?" she asked, as if my life could only be valuable if it involved her. I lifted the steaks slightly. "Cooking these," I said, and enjoying the silence. Then I walked past her to the checkout. I didn't look back. And honestly, the steak was perfect, medium rare, exactly the way I like it.